a good neighbor to nearby downtown Phoenix. We're at State Farm Stadium here in Glendale, Arizona. Two teams sitting above 500 in the early season, but only one will stay that way as we're off in week 4. He fields it from the 8. Big shot at the end of that return as he gets it just past the 20. All right, let's get this show on the road. It is 1st and 10.
Let's go now. Go street.
Tight end going in motion here. And off to Benson to start the drive. In the middle holds. They don't get anything on the run. No gain there that time, and it's 2nd and 10.
Made it all look so simple, didn't he? That linebacker sorting right through the traffic, finding the runner. That's instincts come to life.
Go!
2nd and 10. Need to get some positive yardage here.
Half the 60. Half the 60. Warriors 70. 60 Maverick. 60 Maverick. Take over.
Throwing now from the gun. He lofts it deep left. His first throw is an interception. And the Seahawks are off to a great start defensively. They force a turnover on the opening possession.
Oh, coaches just love that effort right there. Instantly, as he made the pick, everybody was looking for a block and doing their part to set up the return. And I know it pales in comparison to giving up the turnover, but how about the effort on the other side to track him down and stop a potential pick six? I think everybody deserves a little credit on the field for that effort.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Kenneth Walker gets it for the first time. And he's brought down after a short gain. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Now Murray. He's going to push one deep down the... His first throw is an interception. Buda Baker picks it off. And the Cardinals are going to have it after his 2nd interception of the season. What a call for their first pass of the game. It would have been a big hitter if they completed it, Brock, but just not the right touch on that football, and it ends with an interception.
You could just tell these cover guys, they've been waiting for their first chance to go get some work done in this one. They did their homework, number 1. And number 2, Kate, as Russell Wilson loves to say, the separation was in the preparation.
Offense ready to begin this drive, 1st and 10.
Set.
The give now to Benson, who swarms in the middle. This gets maybe a yard. Byron Murphy there to make the play. Manages just a yard on 1st down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
Let's go. Hey, smash. Go.
run the draw here with Benson. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. Only a yard for him that time, so now 3rd and 9.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
3rd and long for him here. That one's cut along the left sideline. And he's out in the clear. And he flips the field for them before being taken down.
You know, Kate, we often talk about flipping the field in special teams, right? A kick return, a good punt. Well, an explosive play like that does the exact same thing. Look at the difference in field position. By hitting on that shot, you've totally flipped the field and the tone of this drive.
Putting the tight end in motion. Benson on 1st and 10. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few and got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line thanks to a great effort defensively.
Ready up.
Offense to the line for 2nd down.
Here we go. Here we go. 18, Pioneer.
The Cardinals deciding to use the first of their 3 timeouts. And after using an early one, 2 left for him to spend. Everyone's prepped. It's 2nd down now.
Set. Dragon 60. Hut.
He's going to throw this one. Taken in by Harrison. And he drives this forward to the 6. Here they come. This is 3rd and 5.
Cougar 19. Check smash. Check smash. 19 Lion. Panther 11. Panther 11. Ready.
Throwing from the gun here. On the move, headed right. This time they're going to get there, and they drop it. And the defense comes through. That's going to back them up and bring up 4th down. Katie York now on for the field goal. A very short kick here from the right hash. Groupie sends it through. And that's going to get them on the scoreboard.
I never saw a play script that ended with a field goal. It was always a touchdown that you wanted. But that's 3 points, and it's enough to give them the lead.
Now he's York to kick this one away. And that one's going to skip across the goal line and into the end zone. So the football will come back out to the 20. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw here and shake off that previous INT. That one doesn't find its man, incomplete.
There's the importance of staying in phase as a defender. He was all over him in coverage, and that really did help force the incompletion.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. Here's Kyler to throw. This one is tipped away and incomplete. Good positioning to make a play on it. That forces third down.
You know, so often we talk about speed offensively. Right? We love receivers that can run. That was a perfect example of how speed kills you defensively. A hurried throw almost ended an interception. And that wasn't until after they almost brought him down behind the line for a sack. Speed's the difference.
No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Throwing here, Murray. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Well-timed strike by that defender to knock it free. And that brings up 4th and long. Seahawks bringing out the punt team. And he's only a handful of yards from his own goal line. He was only needed twice in last week's win, and he gets this one away. And a nice return out of him. They have it a little further up, past their own 30. Absolutely crushed that kick, a full 70-yard punt. And it'll be Cardinals football. Ball at the 33 for first down. Airing it out to start this drive. Gets this one to Harrison. And he's brought down for a loss.
Well, there was never a play in any playbook I ever saw designed for a lost yardage play when you throw the ball. But if there's any solace, at least it was first down. A couple more chances to make up for it.
Motioning left is their running back. Snared by the running back. Here's Trey Benson. He gets it forward for a gain of 3. It was Reed Blankenship making the stop.
That's a defense's goal, right, Kate? Just get us to third down so we can have a chance to get off the field. And that was a good adjustment on that stop in particular, when the back ended up being the target, and they were able to keep him short of the sticks.
It's 3rd and 8. Need to get a chunk here.
Here we go, set.
Pass play now. Galloping inside the 40. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. Back and ready now for the second quarter. It's Cardinals football. They've got 1st and 10 here, looking to add to their lead. Now an inside give to Benson. And they're on him after about a 2-yard gain. Devin Witherspoon there on the stop. He gets a couple on first, and they'll come up 2nd and 8.
You know, not a ton of yards, but still showing that commitment to the ground game. The type of run that keeps the defense from loading up in coverage and focusing entirely on that passing game.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down.
Set up. 60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
From the 29. Pass cut by Gould. And they get this down to the 12-yard line before being stopped. They get 18 yards out of it and a new set of downs.
Good offenses. Okay, good play callers know how to utilize their personnel. They know where they wanted him. They wanted him in a route in space where he could make that initial play comfortably, but then go to work after.
Working inside the red zone. And he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. The Cardinals making a 9-point advantage. York tacks on that extra point. And the Cardinals make it a 10-point ball game. On now is York to kick this one away. On the return, here comes Kene Wangu. And he gets across the 30 before he's brought down.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. First and 10, Murray. He throws a bullet deep to the right side. It's another first half mistake. He's intercepted again. Juju Brents with a pick. And the Cardinals get the football as he makes his third interception of this season.
You know what this is, Kate? This is the practice field coming to life. Really on both sides of the ball. Right, you watch defensive coaches preach all the time, and they work on these returns to get to the near sideline, everybody to get a block. And then for those offensive players to show the effort to go chase that down so it's not a pick six, yeah, it stinks for the offense. But that was the practice field coming to life for everybody to see.
Drive starts with a quick throw left, complete. He's contained at the line for no gain. It was Reed Blankenship making the stop.
Man, the defense was all over that throw, able to stop it right at the line. They could smell that one coming, and they sniffed it out in a hurry.
Second and 10, need to get some positive yardage here.
70 range. Ready?
Looking to the air here. Throw right side, hauled in by Harrison. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a first down.
That's just great instincts. Go air it out on second down rather than just play conservative and run it. They hit a weak point in the coverage and don't need to worry about third down at all.
Go!
Benson on the counter. This is ahead for about 5. Brought down by Reek Woolen. First down play, nets him 5. It's going to be second and 5.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
They give on second to Benson. And he's just spinning his wheels, man, this entire first half. They drop him behind the line.
What was supposed to move the chains, or at least make third down easier to handle instead, well, did the exact opposite here, Kate. It now makes this third down a whole lot trickier to figure out.
Let's go. 60 Bobcat. Set go.
Throw on third down. Forced out to his right. Oh, he was on the move, but so was the defense, and they take him down. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of fourth down. The Cardinals out for the punt. And he's got a good chance to really stick him deep his first time out. He punted a couple of times last week in their loss, and now gets this one away. And that's well into the end zone, so a missed chance to stick them near the goal line. Instead, they're going to have the ball at the 20. They're out and set, first and 10. First play of the drive. Here's Walker. And a couple of teammates combining there for the stop after just 1 yard.
You know, they got some positive yards. That's a good thing. But too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together, get first downs against the better defenses in this league.
That brings us to the 2-minute warning at Glendale. The Seahawks are on the move here. They'll come to the line here, second and 9. operating from the gun. Here's Murray. He beams one deep right side. Really pushing the envelope on second down, but the deep shot doesn't work.
That's somebody they're going to look for if he has any space deep. That space, though, Kate, just disappeared between when he let that pass go and when he actually made it down the field.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down. From the gun, it's Murray. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Gonna have to wait a little longer for his first catch of the game. And now they're staring at 4th and long. Punt team is on now, and they get this away. And a big hit on the return to stop him cold. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be their football. The Cardinals with some nice field position to start off this drive. 1st and 10 coming up. Quick throw, right side, complete to start this drive. And the tackle's made just beyond midfield at the 48.
I know that completion doesn't move the chains, but I love it nonetheless. You make sure that defense is aware of every eligible player going out, and this time it was out of the backfield with the running back that shows he's adept at catching it as well.
Let's see what they want to do here, partner. It's 2nd and inches.
Curve 19, go!
From the 48. Toward the sideline, and McBride's got it. And he's out of bounds just inside the red zone. It's a gain of 29 yards. And that's a Cardinals first down.
70 Lions! Tight! Street! 79 Broncos! 19 tight! Mustang 19! Ready?
From the red zone now. Brought in right side. And he is hit hard shortly after that catch. Great job hanging on to that, but only a small gain on that play.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes 2nd and 3rd down a whole lot easier to manage.
2nd down now, 7 to go.
Buffalo 18! Trap 60!
Throwing it again here. This reeled in by Betson. It's a real solid pickup, 12 yards, and it rewards him with a 1st and goal.
I'm sure, Coach, the play caller doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
This offense in position now. It's 1st and goal.
Here we go, set!
He's got him. That's McBride. And in for the Arizona touchdown. Not a lot of processing time from the moment he pulled it back to the moment he made that throw, Brock. But I think we can all agree he made the right choice not to hand it off, and then the right read on that throw.
Yeah, he sure did, Kate. Kind of reminds me of the option quarterbacks of our day growing up, right? Those guys that made that pitch, and it was just second nature. They were on the run, guys all around. Didn't matter. He's going to put that pitch right on them. The great RPO quarterbacks of today do exactly the same thing with their throws.
Wangu now to return. And look at this return. Races past midfield. And our last play of the half is going to be a touchdown. He takes the kick back. No flags down. That's going to count. Well, when it's set up perfectly, Brock, and you get an exciting return man back there fielding it, wow, there are not many plays in football more exciting than taking a kick back for 6.
Find those blockers, follow those blockers, and then step on the gas. So simple for me to describe, yet so tough to execute on the field.
We've reached the midway point of this contest. 2 quarters down and an exciting 2 to go. The NFL on EA Sports returns after this. Welcome back, everybody. Kate Scott, Brock Heward with you as we're about set to begin the 3rd quarter. On now is York to kick this one away. Wangu now to return. He lost the football. And the fumble recovery is made. He does it. Touchdown, Arizona. The Cardinals make it a 16-point ball game. Not exactly the big play that these reworked kickoffs were designed to promote, Brock, but hey, excitement's excitement, right? And it is hard to beat the old scoop and score.
Don't tell that kicking team that wasn't a big play. This is what they work on all week long, Kate.
Yep.
This is how they become special as a special teams unit to punch it out and take it back to the house.
Nice little energy on their sideline after that fumble return scored, and with plenty of energy, he'll send this one away. Wangu now to return. And he's walloped just as he gets across the 25. What a hit. He's down shy of the 30. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Murray. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
Take a look at that scoreboard, and you just can't backwards. If you're going to close this gap, you've got to stay on schedule. Had a hard time doing so with a double-digit deficit.
Trying again following the sack. He's going to push one deep down the right. Oh, no, they get him yet again. Buda Baker picks it off. And the Cardinals get the football as he makes his 3rd interception of this season. Well, you kind of had a feeling, Brock, that they were going to be passing early and often coming out of the locker room on the losing side of things, right? And that coverage, man, they knew it too. Right there to make a play on the very first throw.
Yeah, no doubt, I think in any of our minds, they knew a throw was coming defensively, and that's fine. You could know it's coming, but you got to then go out and execute it.
Hit behind the line, and the ball is loose. And no turnover. It's going to stay with the offense. Well, that is not how you make the most of an opportunity when your defense gives you the football back. But the good news is, Brock, at least they get another shot at it.
Yeah, when you're running on the field, you feel the joy of that defense, right? They just got you a possession. They're giving you an opportunity. And thankfully, they saved the day by at least jumping on the ball.
60 Maverick. 18 Rattler. 18 Rattler. 18 Pioneer.
2nd and 12 behind the sticks. Pass him on the quick hitter. And that's good for a gain of 5. Byron Murphy there to make the play.
It is so hard for these defenses. I don't envy them at all. They try to monitor where these running backs are. Are they chipping? Are they delaying their route? He's such an underrated part of their overall passing game.
Come on. Set. Track at 60. Take go.
They're going to throw it on 3rd and long. Makes the grab in bounds left side. And he does quite a bit of damage before they finally take him down.
From a great throw to a nice route and catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
Let's go now. 19 Lion. Panther 11. Panther 11. Hut.
Play action on 1st down. Throwing all the way to the end zone here. He's got it deep downfield. And this is caught. Touchdown, Arizona. The Cardinals push their lead further to start the half. Marvin Harrison Jr. with the touchdown. That one right down the middle. And the Cardinals make it a 24-point ball game. Now is York to kick this one away. Wangu now to return. They'll have decent field position to begin with here. Brock, he's tackled just beyond that 30-yard line. They've got first down from the 31. Now Murray on the play fake. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up.
Yeah, this is a time where offensively you got to regroup. You got to get in that huddle. You know, and quarterback is the most important leadership position. Everyone's looking at you. And as a QB, after taking a sack like that, golly, you got to flush it, instill some confidence, and move this ball forward.
He throws a bullet deep to the right side. Oh, brother, it's another interception. Max Melton with the INT. And the Cardinals are going to have it after his second interception of the season. Well, Brock, it has been a special day for this defense when it comes to forcing turnovers. Big play after big play, and that is their fourth interception of this contest.
Special for the defense and an absolute nightmare for a quarterback. One interception, it sticks with you all week long, but throwing four, he probably wishes he could be anywhere else on earth other than this field right now.
And they try to power it forward, but only a couple of yards there.
That's a pretty good stop on first down. This defense now gets a chance to dictate, and that's what all the great defenses want to do, Kate. They want to dictate it on their terms and not just be reacting to what the offense is always doing.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down. Looking right, and he finds him. And they get this down roughly to the 34-yard line. Give him 18 yards on that play, Brock, and it gets him a first down.
It sure seemed like he knew exactly where he was going with that right off the snap.
Here's first and 10 from the 34.
Cougar 19, let's go. 7 Pirates. Ready.
Setting up a throw. Short pass brought in. And he pushes this down to the 22-yard line. They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only one? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards.
And that's incomplete, but he might have done a little too much to cause that. Flag comes out, and this could be interference. So a little too much contact on the part of the defender, and the officials flag him for it. They'll have a new set of downs following that defensive penalty.
Here we go. Ready.
First and 10, looking to throw. Able to get it to Benson. And he's out of bounds inside the red zone, just short of the 15.
When there's heat, that blitz coming off the snap, that QB's eyes, you could see it right away. He got to his check down in a hurry. But, Kate, here's the key. Quarterback and running back have to be on the same page. The two were right there, and it netted some positive yards.
From the 16. And this time they're going to get there, and they drop him. And that pushes them back. Third down coming up.
Kate, I've seen a one-step drop. I've seen a 3, a 5, a 7. Some of the boots and play actions, you get more depth. But a 20-step drop? That's not going to cut it. Except for this defense, it just adds a whole bunch of negative yards to that play.
Breaks the tackle, still going. And he gets leveled just before he reaches the marker, and that hit prevents a first down.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that first down marker.
Groupie sends it through, and that grows the lead to 27.
Inspiring a bunch of confidence in himself right there, Kate. Second time they brought him out for a field goal, and second time, well, he's knocked it right through. Trust is earned in a number of different ways on the field, but that's the best way to gain it as a kicker.
Now he's York to kick this one away. Wangu now to return. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Drive starts out with a first and 10. Walker now from the gun. And he stopped after a nice gain up past the 25. Give him 4 that time, so 6 to go on second down.
You know, that's a good run right there. Keep the offense on schedule. If he can average that type of yards per carry, this guy's going to be more than all right with letting him lead the show.
From the 28. Smith and Jigba there to grab it. He picks up 15 on the play. And it sets up Seattle with first down.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend? Do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
On first and 10, it's Murray. He throws a bullet to the center of the field. He's got it inside the 10. All the way, touchdown Seattle. The Seahawks shave some off the deficit late in the quarter. Point after up and good for Myers. And the Seahawks still have a lot of work to do, Brock. It's a 20-point difference now. On now is Dixon to kick this one away. That's going to be taken in at the 8. And he gets up beyond the 20, but they plant him a few inches into the ground to end that return. Offense ready to begin this drive. First and 10.
Here we go, Shaq. Ready.
They give up the gut to Benson. And the push forward doesn't get beyond the line. Oye Mafe bringing that play to a halt. So we're through 3 here. It's not quite over yet, but it'd take a pretty miraculous comeback. We've got a 3-score game as we get set to start the 4th quarter. Second and 10, need to get some positive yardage here.
70 range. Ready.
They'll try and throw it here. He's going deep this time. That's grabbed inside the 30. And he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. The Cardinals keep adding to that 4th quarter lead. I love plays like this, Brock. Sometimes you just got to ask your dude, show me what you got, man. Show off those wheels, and he did just that.
Yeah, beauty in simplicity, right?
Yep.
Now, when you run that fly route, you got to win right from the jump. And you got to protect yourself from the sideline, too. Don't get pushed to the boundary. Give your quarterback room to throw it up. You can find pay dirt.
Now he's York to kick this one away. Here's a return from the 7. Big lick from the coverage team there. That's going to stop the return before it can get to the 30. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Now Murray. And no luck there, and that throw falls to the ground. No luck connecting with Jackson Smith-Njigba. So it'll be 2nd down.
I think if you look up in phase in the defensive encyclopedia, that is a picture-perfect form of it. He was all over him in coverage, really forcing the incompletion.
Murray thrown again on 2nd and 10. Got to him right as he threw it, and it falls to the ground. He was looking DK Metcalf's way there. So they're left facing 3rd and long.
Well, that's one you chalk up to the pressure earning that incompletion. They came in before he could find a target, hit him, altered that last second attempt to get rid of it.
Murray on 3rd down. Oh no, they get him yet again. Buda Baker picks it off. And the Cardinals take possession as he makes his 4th interception of our season.
I don't know how many you could have next to you, Kate, that have been in this spot before, okay? I have thrown 5 interceptions in the game, and it happened to be our rivalry game back in college. It was one of the most humbling, horrific experiences of my life. Please, Coach, take this player out. We do not need to see another interception added to his ledger.
They're out and set, 1st and 10.
Bronco 80. Check go.
Trying to throw here out of the gun. And they get this all the way down to the 16-yard line.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. They hit a curl route of that length. It takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
Options are open here. It's 2nd and inches. Option play they give to Benson. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
That's certainly a spot where you could be more aggressive, Kate, if you wanted to take your shots. But some coaches, even the bolder ones, will take the safe play first when they get it from time to time. No 3rd down required now.
Back now, pressure on its way. And he's going to score. It's an Arizona touchdown. The Cardinals continue piling it on here in the 4th. You're good on the point after. And the Cardinals grow their lead yet again.
48. Seahawks 14. Cade York to kick off.
Now is York to kick this one away. Kickoff taken at the 3. And he's brought down just inside the 25 on the return.
At their own 24-yard line.
They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. They'll motion him out of the backfield. Murray here on 1st down. He beams one deep right side. Big gain downfield. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Seattle. The Seahawks putting up points in a game decided. So sensational work by the skill man there, Brock. Anytime you can make your quarterback look that good, You know he appreciates it.
That's a quarterback's best friend, no question. But on the other side, gosh, defensively, you got to get that skill player down. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. You can't give up that much yards after catch.
That one splits the uprights. And the Seahawks take a molehill off that mountain as they still trail by 27. And the Cardinals' hands team secures the football. Well, I guess they kind of had to do it here, Brock.
Yeah, it's called a have to. Yeah, kind of have to at this point in the game, huh?
Okay, but like most things in this game, it did not work out for them.
Yeah, let's face it. Even if they do recover that, probably not going to find a way to win. But this is a time where you work on things, where you do build to the following week. Got to find a way to flush this because it's just not been their kind of game.
It's Benson on the give. And they beat him to the edge. That run stopped back at the line. Call it no gain on that run, and they face 2nd and 10.
Stopped right at the line, but might as well have been a loss of yards as far as the offense is concerned. It's always humbling when you try force versus force, and the defense wins out.
70 Timberwolves. 60 Bobcat. 60 Bobcat.
2nd and 10 now. He lets a heater go deep, middle of the field. And that's incomplete, and he's happy to have that one fall compared to, well, the alternative. Looked like it was going to be picked there.
Oh, that was such an opportunity lost. They were looking for a way out without giving up any points on the series. And instead, well, he just couldn't quite hang on.
Come 19. Come 19. Ready.
3rd and long for him here. Left side into the hands of McBride. And they get this down to the 28. It's a 13-yard play, and that's enough for the first.
I'm not sure how this defense let that guy slip through him like that. On 3rd down, nonetheless, he took that snap as an opportunity. Man, did he make an impact play.
Benson now from the gun. Broke through the tackle. They'll get 14 yards and a new set of downs.
Some backs are easier to tackle than others. Some, well, they just choose violence. They look for those opportunities to bust through tackles and keep those legs pumping.
They'll come up 1st and 10.
Ready. 79 Broncos. 19 tight. 19 tight. Mustang 19. Ready.
From the red zone now. Coming near the goal line. Touchdown, Arizona. Ooh, baby, Brock. This one has gotten well out of hand.
You think so? I think this is utter domination. Going to be a lot of questions to be answered. I'm going to guess this is a press conference the coach isn't looking forward to.
Now he's York to kick this one away. Has this at the 6. Oh, he eats a hit to bring an end to that return right near the 25. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Blitz coming here, Brock. It's Murray. Caught him deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out! And the Cardinals grab it! And he has it down to the 8-yard line on the play. Well, that didn't take long, Brock. One play, and they're back out there.
Well, that's how a defense can make you awfully happy as an offensive player, especially when you screw it up and you fumble. The defense picks up that offense and puts them right back on the field.
A chance to pay off their defense's effort as they start out 1st and goal. Quick touch pass to the receiver. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
You know, when receivers have room to operate, that's a play that can totally gash a defense. But, Kate, when you get down here in the red zone, it becomes so much tougher because you have a whole lot less space. And, in fact, you'll see defenses swarm like that one just did.
Hand off to Benson from the gun. And their struggles on the ground continue as he's tackled after a small gain. It's a gain of 2, and that leaves him with 3rd and 8.
Well, you haven't given up the goal line yet, but this offense is moving closer and closer. Now might be the time defensively to get a little more aggressive, try to stick them with the loss, and make a difficult 4th down decision.
And he let his man too much there, Brock. Incomplete, 4th down coming up.
You know, that's an example right there where you just simply got to be on the same page with each other and get both ends of the play right to execute. They want that one back.
Groupie sends it through. It's the 2-minute warning from Glendale. Cardinals on their way to their 3rd win of the year. Now he's York to kick this one away. Fielded at the 7. He stopped on the return at the 27. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. And that one's behind him. That's incomplete. Looking for the back that time. So 2nd down coming up.
Nice little welcoming party waiting for him at the line of scrimmage. No surprises that time. This defense was ready.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Out of the gun. Here's Murray. And he just got it away before the hit, but the pass winds up incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down.
That is a DB's best friend, pressure. That pressure earned that incompletion. They came in before he could find a target and hit him to alter that last-second attempt to get rid of it.
And they can't connect on the 3rd down deep shot. Love the courage they had to try it, but it's incomplete, and now we've got 4th down.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
Offense still staying out after the incompletion. They're going to try on 4th. They snap it to Murray. And they pick him off again. And the Cardinals will take over as he records his 1st interception of our season.
I think it's safe to say his day is beyond repair now, if it wasn't long ago. He just hasn't been reading these coverages at all, and it's clearly not on the same page with his receivers. I think it really is now time to think about his confidence for future games and get him out of this ball game.
Trap 60. Go.
Wow, they're going to pass it here. Throwing deep for the end zone. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. That throw doesn't lead to 6. And it sets up 2nd down.
You know, that type of play is so doggone impressive, not just because it saves a touchdown. He had timed that perfectly to knock it free without drawing a flag or letting him establish possession for the score.
Warriors 70. 60 Maverick. 60 Maverick. Ready.
Oh, look at this. He's setting up to throw. He sends this one to the end zone. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact.
And that is teaching tape right there, Kate, for why you never, ever give up on a play. Looked like a certain touchdown grab until he comes in and knocks the ball free right at the last moment.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. throwing with a blitz on the way. That's caught for the first. And this play reaches the 12-yard line before the stop is made. They get 20 yards out of the play and move the chains.
You're not going to last long in the National Football League if you don't convert a good chunk of your third downs. Nice find there to continue the series.
Come on, set! 18 Rattler, 18 Rattler. Huh.
First down from the red zone. And this time they're going to get there, and they drop it. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up.
When we think about safeties, I mean, it's just right in the name, right? The safety is the last line of protection in the passing game. We don't think of them as blitzers. But, Kate, let me tell you, for a safety blitz to get home, they got to be great disguisers. They can't show that blitz early. That safety didn't, and the quarterback took the brunt of the contact.
Another try following the sack. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Ball and defender arrived at the exact same time there. And that's going to leave him with a tough 3rd and long. So they opt for the shorter pass later in the progression on that play, Brock. But, man, the defense took that away, too.
Well, what they tell us yesterday in those production meetings, nothing comes easy. No easy completions from shots down the field to those checkdowns to the running back. Wanted to make this offense earn everything. And they just did.
Seven Pirates.
Here he is on 3rd and long. Got a man. Robinson has it. Decent gain here, but short of the first.
You know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
His kick is good at the end, but boy, Brock, we might see some words exchanged at midfield here.